Warning, this video is just me expressing my opinion. I don't mean to harm anyone. I am simply sharing my thoughts and perspective in these topics. Enjoy.
Have you ever wanted to join a fandom, not just for the movies or comics, but to finally feel like you're not the only person with the same taste and interest, to share your passion with strangers on the internet who became your friends? But then you actually step inside that fandom, there's no going back. Because guess what? Your mental health is gonna decline 24/7. It's nothing like what you imagine. Whenever you enter that fandom, the drama, the fake news, the never ending recycled argument about which movie is the best, which director is superior, which actor gave the true interpretation of a character, the list goes on and on and on and on again. Like, it never stops, the nightmare never ends. Now, instead of celebrating what we really love and enjoy, you're just watching the whole thing unfold. Like, seriously, while our mental health is getting declined by all this content drama, the trolling, the tribalism, the harassment, and the same tired debate on repeat. Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Mr. Cinegang Production. I'm back again with another video, and this time it's not another movie review nor another top 10 list. Today I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna have a quick rant. Now, I honestly wasn't sure if I ever wanted to talk about this. I've been wanting to share my experience ever since I first entered the DC fandom, but I couldn't do it because I already know how things goes. There's gonna be a bunch of angry fanboys and trolls and haters who will take this video and throw it onto every social media platform, such as Twitter, which is basically the main sources of toxicity: Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, the bathroom stall, even Satan's armpit. I don't know, whatever chaos goes. But you know what? I think I'm ready now. I'm finally going to talk about my experience in the DC fandom because I'm really sick and tired of everything. And just to be clear, this video is not gonna be a rage bait. This isn't me acting like I'm being persecuted. Isn't some whoa, it's me nonsense. This is just my personal story, what I've been seen and gone through online. So if you're gonna be a complete hater who's already sharpening a pitchfork and ready to show up my ass, please kindly leave. I don't want any drama from this. But if you are someone who's open to hearing other people's experience in the fandom, then please stick around because you're about to hear my full story. Now let's get into it. Now, I know what most of you are probably thinking. Like, dude, you're the biggest Snyder Glazer on this platform. And you know what? I don't care. Based on how I posted and the content I make, yeah, I am the biggest Snyder Glazer. And I'll hold that title proudly till the day I die. I'm not ashamed of it. But you know what? It's really funny how ever since the new Superman movie that was directed by James Gunn dropped, people are making a lot of content on hating on Zack Snyder. It's became a trendy thing right now. It's like it's part of their personality trait. People usually compare Zack Snyder to Adolf Hitler, Ed Wood, Owie Ball. They even compare his fans to cult terrorists or even worse, 50. Way worse than 50s. That's amazing, guys. But at the end of the day, I'm just a fan of a director. That's it. There's nothing wrong with liking one filmmaker, right? There's also nothing wrong with wanting to see more of a continuation of his universe. Like, why is that such a crime? All right, because hating on Zack Snyder is a personality trait. It's cool to hate on the director just because a bunch of lunatics on the internet decided that it's the new trendy thing. But here's the thing. Not every Snyder fans like me are bad, okay? They're not bad. There are some good fans, chills like me in this fandom, who just genuinely love the movie, the visual, the storytelling, whatever. Just because some idiot posted something wild on the Snyder subreddit doesn't mean that they represent all of us. You seriously need to stop generalizing an entire fandom based on one unhinged Reddit post. That's not how things work. And for the record, I left that subreddit a long time ago. It stopped being a fan space the moment the Snyder haters has infiltrated the whole subreddit and became a complete war zone. And here's the thing, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that all Snyder fans are safe. Every fandom has a few fat apples. That's just how things works. There will always be that one loud, annoying person who makes the rest of us look bad. But let's not act like you guys are any better. You guys have been doing this since day one. Since when Zack Snyder was hired to direct Man of Steel, before the movie even existed, before a single frame was shot, even when the costume was already revealed, people were like complaining, "Where's the underwear? Where's the trunk?" It reminds me of that one time when Michael Bay was receiving a lot of death threats just because he put a flame livery on Optimus Prime's truck, which is not a bad upgrade. I think it's a improvement of the character which became iconic. Most of you already made up your mind to hate on the movie. You were already writing the movie off without even knowing what it was. And you know what's so stupid and ironic about this? The same people who hated it from the start are the same ones who now go around preaching respect the past and embrace the future. Dude, where was that energy back in 2010? Because from what I remember, you're not even respecting Zack Snyder. You're just waiting to hate on things. Yes, the people I am gonna talk about are the MCU fan. I mean, the true DC fans. The same people who love to spread their little gospel about being kind to one another because apparently being kind is the new punk rock. But somehow they never apply that role to themselves. To me, I think DC fans act like the people who preach one thing and then do the complete opposite. They talk about loving your neighbors, loving your enemies, being respectful, but the moment fans like me say anything positive about Zack Snyder and his movie, everything instantly became unhinged. You can't even express your enjoyment without some asshole whispering in your ear saying your taste sucks. Dude, calm down. I'm just expressing what I like. And I'm not trying to sound like someone with a persecution complex, but I'm done pretending. Being a Snyder fan on the internet really sucks, and it does hurt. It really feels like you can't like this movie. You can't even search them up. You can't even talk about them. You can't even mention them without someone bashing them non-stop for like and attention and views. Everywhere you go, it's the same recycled argument on repeat. Like, oh, Superman is an edgy, depressed psychopath because he killed a genocidal maniac. Blah, 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 blah. The same tired line we all heard 1,000 times. You know, growing up loving Man of Steel through Zack Snyder Justice League was pretty rough. You couldn't look up anything DC related without seeing people dogpiling Zack Snyder just to farm engagement. It sucks, it's draining, and it makes enjoying the fandom way more stressful than it need to be. I can almost never find anything positive without angry fanboys and trolls spitting their hatred towards Zack Snyder like it's their own personality trait. And you know what? It's one of the biggest reasons why I stopped being a DC fan. Because of these angry fanboys, DC fans are on the same level as Transformers fans. They never stop, even after all these years. People still make jokes about Zack Snyder's daughter like it's the funniest thing in the world. When the truth is, it's completely heartbreaking knowing how she died. It's so cruel. And you know what's even sadder is that you never see headline about Zack Snyder haters. But when it comes to Snyder fans like me, we're always the one who get painted as the problem. It really feels like the narrative is controlled and pushed in one direction. Now don't get me wrong, I still love DC in general. Outside of the Snyderverse, I have the Rocksteady Arkham game. I grew up watching Teen Titans, the Dark Knight trilogy, the Burton Batman film, the classic comics, all of that. It's just that these haters make it really hard for me to enjoy anything outside of the Zack Snyder DC universe. I'm still struggling to enjoy the Christopher Reeve Superman movie or the Batman movies that was directed by Matt Reeves. Not because they're bad, but because the haters are everywhere. They're always weaponizing these movies. They're always poisoning the whole conversation. But you know what? I'm glad that I'm no longer active on Twitter or any other social media app except YouTube. I don't want to deal with these people repeating the same argument like no Snyderverse every 5 seconds. I just want to enjoy what I want to enjoy without being a complete asshole to other people. That's it. I don't need any negativity to consume. If I enjoy a movie, I enjoy it. And yeah, I also have to accept that my favorite director and movie has a lot of problems and flaws. Because at the end of the day, no movie is perfect. They're just entertainment. But You know what? You don't have to do this, like making this whole hating personality your whole personality, because if you don't like a director because of their interpretation, fine, but stop acting like everyone who disagrees with you is simply wrong just for enjoying something. You know what? Despite what you nerds want to believe, I think Zack Snyder did more good than harm to DC. His movie revolutionized Superman as a character. Instead of just turning him into some generic one-dimensional mascot who smiled at the camera like a corporate mascot, I think Zack Snyder to me made Superman feel like a real person, a character with depth, conflict, growth, someone who actually struggles in life but still continues to live in it and rise above it. Zack Snyder made Superman relevant by making those things happen. Not only that, he also created a visual and conceptual blueprint that are now staple in the franchise. I still think about that mid-air punch between Clark and Zod. And the Kryptonian suit design, that's pretty innovative and original compared to the cheap costume design. People still praise that. And the Wonder Woman costume and weapon, that entire style became a trend for years. Like I said, Zack Snyder made Superman relevant. He built a world that actually challenged the character instead of just turning him into a complete carpet mascot. And because of him, we even got the Snyder Cut release, a whole director cut willed into existence by fans. How many filmmaker can say that? No matter what people think of Zack Snyder, I think to me he's a misunderstood director. It sucks that more people don't appreciate his work because people nowadays just prefer a lot of cheap amusement joke over engaging with art and storytelling. People just wanted the same thing. They don't want something innovative and original. And even if they do, people are gonna call you pretentious no matter what it takes. And you know what? That's fine. At least Zack Snyder gave us something bold, innovative, something risky, and something different. Something with a vision. And somehow, many of his haters treated him like a criminal. Alright, folks, that's all for today. As I mentioned earlier, I already know that there's gonna be a bunch of angry trolls and haters who's ready to share this video on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, basically anywhere so that they can get attention. But you know what? I don't care. I'm just expressing my own thoughts and frustration about the DC fandom. That's all this video is meant to be. I don't know if I'm gonna be making another video right away because I had to take a break and prioritize my own mental health after dealing all this nonsense, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the content so far. I've been working on this video for a while, and I'm glad it's finally out. If you're a Snyder fan or just a DC fan who want to enjoy things without all the drama, share your experience down in the comments. I would love to hear your story. I'll see you guys in the next video, so stay safe.